Hello everybody, it's Kitten here. We're having an amazing time with all the kids doing the trail, so if kids pop into the background, don't worry about it. Absolutely hilarious in the town. I'm here with your monthly technique video. Now if you've never seen my channel before, you know we're a bit madcat, we're a bit scatty, but we do beginners help for their knitting. So I'm sharing you this month's technique, and we're looking, it's supposed to be summer. Yeah, okay, summer. We'll just pretend. We're doing bunting for your picnics and what have you. We did start bunting for the free pattern giveaway. If you haven't got that, go onto my website, get the email. That's all there. So I'm going to look at the pennant bunting, the triangles. You don't need me to walk you through that. It's dead simple. I'll tell you the pattern at the beginning. But we're going to look at how to put, if you want to do some pictures or some shapes or some patterns, how to do it so you can do whatever you like. It's very simple. All you need is some graph paper. It's a good old-fashioned colouring in squares technique. So let me show you how we do it.
Down a little alley in the heart of Kendal town is a tiny independent yarn shop. Welcome to the wonderful world of the kitten and the goat.
Now, my lovely people, your basic pennant type bunting is very, very simple. You cast on, I've marked up 41 stitches, you knit 2 rows, you cast off 1 at each end, you knit 2 rows, you cast off 1 at each end, right the way down till it disappears into the point. If you want it longer, work 3 rows, cast 1 off, work 3 rows, cast 1 off, same on down. If you want it wider, go wider. If you want it narrower, start with narrower. Less stitches on the needle. If you want tiny little sharp points or scales or teeth, then cast off every row and you'll get a really tight, sharp point. No point me doing a video on that, that's really simple. For your basic pattern, just knit every row. If you want a flat side to make a picture on, then you're going to be working 1 row purl, 1 row knit to get to your stocking stitch. When you see all the pictures on the pennants, this is how I still do it like this. You need a piece of graph paper. There's tons free to download online. You don't have to go and buy a pack of graph paper these days. Just download what you want. It doesn't matter what. Oops, daisies! This is my new thing to hold the thing. It's a little bit wibbly. It doesn't have to be any particular size because we are working on a stitch. One of these boxes represents a stitch. Now, to save you, if you want to do lots of different patterns, save you drawing this out every single time, just photocopy it on your printer, or scan it and save it and then print it out. So you have to remember that knitting goes in lines. This is why there's this jagged edge here. When you actually knit it, it looks smoother because this bit softens, but technically you've dropped a stitch on the end. You've knitted 2 together, so you've lost a stitch. So when you think what shape you want, possibly alphabets are the easiest to start with, or ages for the kid's name, for a kid's birthday, something. So if you want to do a number 1, it literally is there. So you draw your 1 in the box as big as you want it. If you look online, and you Google images, you will find these images, knitting pattern, cross stitch patterns. It's all the same thing. If you find a cross stitch pattern you like, they usually have coloured squares, but you will find you colour in your squares and you create your pattern. And you can just do that. You can do that for anything you fancy. And cover it like that. You could put a heart in it. You have to remember that this is squares, so you've got to fake a round, and then we're going to go out, and I think we might go out again, and then we're going to come down into a point like that. That doesn't quite match up. Another one there. So you go round the other side to match up, and there's your heart pattern. And when you work this on your knitting, you would knit in one colour all the way, or it's either a knit or purl. It looks best if you do it in stocking stitch, because it's a smooth surface and there's nothing there to interfere with the appearance of the stitch. So you work along here, you bring in another colour here, make sure to twist the yarns round each other so you don't get a gap here, twist them round and go back to your other colour for here, and then when you're coming along here, twist your yarns round, work in your heart colour, twist them round and go on the back there, and you keep doing that until you've got here and you've made your little heart shape. Where did we get to? That goes out, that goes out, something like that. Match it up so it's even, and you can do that for as technical as you want to get. Yes, you could actually have 2 or 3 colours. You could put different colours in to shade your heart. You would have another little colour coming in there. I will show you next how physically to take the stitches across the back here. When you're only doing a couple of stitches, it doesn't matter, but when you're doing a big row like this, you need to take this yarn with you to the other side so you don't get great droopy tram lines. So I'll show you that next. Right, I've just grabbed the nearest thing to work with because I only want to show you. Oh, I'm standing on my tail. So I've done a little bit. Now I'm going to work from the bottom to the top. This works any way round. If you were doing a pennant, you would be casting on here, so you would be coming down and working the top of the heart first. If you were doing a border sideways, you'd be doing the side, and it works for everything. It's exactly the same way. It's just important that you know how to twist. Gee, I'm getting these blooming things everywhere at the minute. It's catching on everything. Right. So just going to go along to where you want your heart. You know, it's funny how much shorter the rows are when you're prepping this to when you're actually standing here working, waiting to get to where you want to be. So we'll just say, is that the middle? Not quite. Is that the middle-ish? That'll do. So you're going to bring in your new, this is actually the shush, it's fluffy. So it should be quite interesting. Now we're going to do that, take it through, then we're going to go back to the yellow colour and get to the end of the row. I knew I'd cast on too many when I was doing this. Okay. And this will work for everything. If you want to put some initials on a jumper, or you want to put a flower border along the bottom, you're not quite sure, this process will work for everything. It's me rushing, you see. More haste, less speed is what my mother used to say. Got this wonderful new gadget to hold my tablet so I can phone, and it does, it really does work, it really does do the trick, except it's got a bloody great big block right across the middle, right across the bit that I want to see to make sure I'm on focus. So I don't know how long this and I are going to stay friends, but it does do the job. I just need one with that. And it's very wobbly. Every time I touch it, it bounces. Oh dear, what are we like in here? Right, so we're coming up to where we need to change, because this has to be in a different colour. So we're going to let go of that one. We're going to pick up this one. We're going to take it around there. Don't worry about what the other end's doing, that's fine. And then we're going to knit one, or we're going to purl rather, work 3, and we're going to drop that. We're going to take them around each other like that, and then we're going to continue. You see how that's turned around there to the end of the row. What that does is that it stops the stitches separating because they're not attached to anything. If you've yet wrapped the yarns around each other, they have an anchor point, and they sit flat together properly. Now this is where you need to start doing it in the middle. It's okay to go across the back for 3, that's fine, but that's the limit. After that, if you go across the back for 5, you're going to have a great big tram line hanging down round here, and that is going to catch on everything and spoil everything, especially once you get to the top and you've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitches that you've got to skip across. That is just not going to be practical or hard wearing. And plus it tends to, oh, we've got people. Hold on, sweetie, I'll turn off. Right, sorry. The kids have got a summer trail round, and they go round all the shops looking for shapes and pictures, and there's questions to answer, and it's just such gorgeous fun with all these little kiddies coming in. Oh, bless. I think I'm having more fun than the kids are. Now we are going that way, and we are going to do an extra one each side. So that's normal. There, twist round, knit, knit. When you've done a couple and you start to do the next, do it again, turn your yarns round, keep working with that. 2, 3, do your twist to get back to your yellow, and continue. Now, see, there's a little bottom of your heart coming. What that does is it catches this yarn up here, so you don't have a big loop. It's joined in. So every 2 or 3 stitches you need to do that. When you do your next row, you will do 1, 2, catch it up, 1, 2, catch it up, 1, 2, 3, and then on the next row you've got even more. You'll be doing a couple of stitches, catch it up, couple of stitches, catch it up. You can get away with 3 at a push, but don't take the risk, because it puckers. Not only does it make this vulnerable because it droops, it distorts the picture. So if you're doing a big picture, you want to be nice and relaxed and even. You can see I'm tense today. Look at that. I've got a tough week ahead of me, and I'm tense. And look how that's gone tight. See, your emotions reflect in your work. And this is the same for all chart work. You can also, instead of doing a colour, you can do a purl and do reverse stocking stitch or a garter stitch, reverse stocking stitch in that little place there. So you get a raised up pattern. You'll find some of the squares on the Blanket Club do that. You have a little raised outline on it. So that is how you add something a bit different to your summer bunting. It doesn't have to be complicated. You could just do circles and stars, triangles. You can do stripes is easy. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of different colours. That's easy. Interspace them along the banner with a plain one or a garter stitch one. It's great fun to play. So that's some ideas for your picnic bunting for summer. You could of course do Christmas. Hear about Christmas, do it with Christmas tree themed shapes. A little row of Christmas trees, that'd be fun. Okay, that's the technique for this month, and we'll see you next month. If there's anything you want me to cover, if there's anything that I've not made clear enough, then do feel free to just leave me a comment, give us a shout, join the email list, and I'll let you know what's going on. And that's it, darlings. We'll see you next month. Cheerio. This little video is brought to you as part of our virtual knitting circle. If you join our email list, every month you will get a free knitting pattern pop through your email box. And that's it. You don't have to do any further action. You get a free pattern. I also upload on YouTube a little walkthrough of the pattern, various little tweaks, twiddles and things you might need to know to make it easier for you. And a fortnight later you get a technique video, usually builds on what we've just made, or it might be I discuss a design feature or something like that, just to build your knowledge bank and help you. If you want to go on and buy the kit, that's fantastic. It's all on the website. We have a website. If you want to buy yarns and wools from us, we'd be exceedingly grateful. We are a tiny little independent knitting shop doing the best to help you knit. See you soon.